I'm going to walk you through the steps to build a hydraulic model from GIS data in epanet-js. To do it, load up epanet-js, and you have two options. You can either pick import GIS from this welcome screen, or if you don't have the welcome screen, you can pick create new and import GIS data. The first step you're going to do is select your model settings. So first pick your unit systems. You have the choice of either US units or metric units. Then you can pick your flow units. So these are the standard epanet flow units. And finally, your head loss formulas. Once you've got that, press next. Now we're going to load our GIS files. So you can load in either shape files or GeoJSON files. I'm going to drag in one file for our water mains and then drag in the next one for our PIVs. You can see they've come up along this list here and then also on the map. We can start assigning them to elements within epanet. So we'll select assign to element and pick pipe, and then select the PIVs and select two valves. You'll see that they'll be highlighted on the map and they'll also appear on this legend here. We can press next. And now we're up to the attribute mapping stage. So we have our choice of attributes for pipes and valves, and you can select them along the top here. If you had added more elements, it would come all the way across. And we have a range of elements that you can, or attributes you can select for the element. We have recommended and optional. Technically everything is optional, but we recommend that you do the ones on the left here. So we'll start by picking the recommended ones. So we'll do asset ID. We'll do diameter for the pipes, and we'll also pick the roughness coefficient. And you can see as we fill in that information, it will appear in the data preview below. Anywhere where we don't have data and we have a default value, you'll see it will appear in this italics text. And if there's a gap, you'll also see it here as well. Now we'll go across to the valves and repeat the same thing. So pick the asset ID, the diameter, and we'll also pick the type. You can see it's filled in here. And at this stage, we're ready to actually build the model. So we'll press build model, and we'll go through the process of connecting the model together, applying those attributes, and then loading into epanet-js. Now let's look at a couple other little edge cases that you might come into as you're doing this build process. So I'll just quickly pick these units again. Potentially, you may be working with shapefiles, and shapefiles come with multiple components. So if you just drag in one of the pieces of the shapefile, that say, for example, just the .shp file, and you're missing the dbf and the projections, you'll only have the spatial component of the shapefile, and you won't have the attributes or the projection data. And epanet-js will warn you that this data is missing. So you can go and add those in. So we can add the dbf file, and that gets us the attributes, and then we can add the projection file, and then we have back to that same position we were before. Alternatively, maybe you don't have the projection file, or the GeoJSON file you're working with doesn't have the projection data. In that case, when you drag it in, it will ask you to select your projection first before you assign the element. So we can click here on the select projection, and we can type in the projection number or the name, and you'll see that will appear on the map, and we'll see the projection number here. And then we can pick the element, and we can go through that same process as before and build the model. And we're in the model. So with that process, you should be able to build the models pretty quickly. You can follow through these steps. The model builds don't take very long, so you can drag in GIS data and build your networks very quickly. You can find a link to epanet-js below. If you have any problems, you can reach out to us as well at support@epanet-js.com. Thank you.